maybe it was you, someone from the committee there of your staff at the Gator Bowl said, we would love to have Mizzou. That's the quote. We would love to have Mizzou. And Missouri fans kind of took off and ran with that. So I'm sure the Gator Bowl would love to have Mizzou, a 9-3 team, or any number of teams like, an A&M and Ole Miss, if they don't make the playoff of South Carolina. There's a good crop to choose from for you guys.
Yeah, and it really gets down to, I think, once you're in this six-pack group, proximity probably plays a greater role than the site of the bowl, because during my AD times at the University of Georgia, I was part of that discussion on what these 6 bowls look like, and they're all on equal footing. All the bowls in this group pay about the same amount of money to the conference, and there's really no difference in going to Memphis or Tampa or Jacksonville. Orlando has an edge there, but a lot of this is basically based on proximity and what's the best location for teams to be in a location where their fans can travel, because whether it's A&M or Missouri, nobody's driving. So how many fans really are going to make that trip to Jacksonville? And we've had experience. I know when Texas A&M was in the game back in 21, we were thinking the 12th man would really rally around that. But needless to say, they had difficulty selling 3,000 tickets. So a lot of this is dependent, for bowls to be solvent, they have to draw respectable crowds. So that comes into play. But a lot of this is geared towards, that's why the bowl and these 6-packs are all regionally. You've got 2 in Florida, you've got 2 in Tennessee, you've got 1 at Las Vegas, you've got 1 in Houston. So really it's just a matter of mixing and matches, and not as much as the bowl site, as much as what makes sense from a travel standpoint and what makes sense from a matchup standpoint to avoid rematches or games that might be played next year.
What's been your evaluations of Eli Drinkwitz's program? And just as you're looking at this, Missouri's never played in the Gator Bowl before. It seems like it could be a good match, possibly.
Yeah, this year, their 5 wins in the conference have been, not the strongest. They drew the lucky card this year on who they're playing. So you've got 3 6-6 teams, and you got Auburn and Mississippi State, and then the teams that are ranked, A&M, Alabama, South Carolina, 2 of those weren't competitive and 1 was. So, that's probably why they're not ranked higher, is their strength of schedule and their inability to really be competitive in those 2 games. It's a small sample. It's nothing that Missouri is at fault or anyone. It's just the rub of the green. Texas dodged a lot of those teams too this year, but they were able to navigate those except for 1 game. And I also think it's who you schedule out of conference. And I know Boston College was one of the non-conference opponents. They had a winning record at the ACC this year. And so, I think they've had a really good year. There's no critique there. It's just when you look at the opponents and things of that nature, certain things kick in. And I think that's the only reason they're not ranked any higher than they are in the college football playoff.